Okay, chapter 5.3 is looking at using Pythagoras theorem in 3 dimensions. We're going to be using cuboids, pyramids and right-angled wedges, which all contain right-angled triangles. In the first question, it's asking us to use a cuboid and find AG in this prism. Okay, now when it says find AG, it's talking about finding a line from A to G. Okay, and that's going to be your hypotenuse in this particular question. So we're going to label that hypotenuse. Okay, now we need to determine where that triangle actually sits. So we know the back line, or the height line, is A to E, and the baseline is E to G. Okay, so basically that's the first step. Okay, now that you've identified that our hypotenuse is Y, we need to actually find Y. But we don't have our B. We've got our A, but we still need to find our B in order to find Y. So what are we going to do? We're going to look at this triangle here. Okay, so we're scrapping that one for now. So we're going to use our 9 as an A and 10 as a B. And we're going to substitute that into our equation. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So we've got 9 squared plus 10 squared equals C squared. Expand it all. So we've got 81 plus 100 equals 181. So this is our squared answer. So we need to square root it in order to find out what C is. So square root of 181 is 13.45. This is going to be our X. So 13.45 is X. Okay, now that you have found what our X is at 13.45, we're able to find what our Y is, or our C. Okay, so we're going to label it again. We've got A equals 5, B equals 13.5, and our A, G, or C is what we're looking for. So we're going to substitute that into our rule. So 5 squared plus the 13.45 squared equals C squared. We're going to add that together. So 5 squared equals 25. Now, in the previous part we said 13.45 squared was actually 181. So we're going to put that in and add those together, and you get 206. Now that you've got 206, we're going to square root 206 to get you what Y equals, or what your AG equals. So we're going to put that there as well. Okay, so AG equals square root of 206, which is 14.35, and that is your answer. In work example 6, it talks about an ant that's walking down the slope of a piece of cheese. It's walking from corner B down to corner D. Okay, so we're going to label that side BD. Okay, this is your Y. Now in this case we don't know what our X is, and we need to find that X in order to find our BD. So we're going to break it down. So I've taken away the walls from the rest of the shape so we can see clearly which triangle we have to find. As you can see, here's our Y, and we now have to find X in order to find our Y. So we're going to just ignore that triangle for now and concentrate on this side here, on this triangle, sorry. Okay, so we've got our A, we've got our B, and X is going to be our C. So we know it's A squared plus B squared, so forth. So we're going to say 8 squared plus 14 squared equals your C squared. Now we know this is 64. We're going to plus on 196, and that's going to equal 260. Now that's our C squared, so we're going to square root 260 in order to find out what C is. In this case, our X. Alright, so square root of 260 is going to be 16.1245. So this is our C, and we're going to use that from now. Okay, now that you've identified your X as 16.1245, we're going to label that as B. We're going to label 4 as A, and our C is Y. Okay, so we're going to use our A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Substitute what you know, like normal. So 4 squared plus the 16.1245 squared equals C squared. Expand it, so 4 squared is 16 plus the 16 squared. Now that equals 260. We know that because of the previous page. Add them together equals 276. Now that's C squared, but we square root it to get our C. Okay, cancels the square out. Okay, so 276 in your calculator, square root of that equals 16.61. Now the question asked you how far did the ants walk in millimeters. Now if this is centimeters, all we're going to do is multiply it by 10 by moving that decimal place one spot across. So it's 16 like that, but put the decimal instead of here, we're going to put it after it. So it's 166.1 millimeters. That is your answer finished. Okay, so I'm going to give you another example. We've got calculated the length of BH in this cube where all the sides are the same. Okay, BH is from this top corner to the front bottom corner. Okay, so it's a diagonal. Now I've just drawn it over here where Y is that B and H. Okay, so in order to find BH we need to know X. So we're going to look at this blue or light blue triangle. Alright, so first of all here's our A, here's our B, and X is our C. So 10 squared plus 10 squared equals 200. Okay, so that's 100 plus 100 equals 200. Now what we're going to do is square root the 200 to get your answer. In this case it's 14.14. Now that you've found your X as 14.14, we can now go and find our B to H, or our Y slash C. Okay, so we're going to use our 10 as an A, this is our B as 14.14 in order to find C. So substitute it. We've got 10 squared plus 14.14 squared equals your C squared slash Y squared. Okay, so what we're going to do is expand it 100 plus our 200. Now this is the squared of that from the previous page. Okay, so obviously 100 plus 200 is 300. So we're going to find the square root of 300. Now when you do that, you're going to have your C equals and 17.32, and that's going to give you your answer. Now that's finished. Now that you've watched the video, it is your turn to do the work. I've put on another Google form online on my Weebly for you to practice what you've just learned. Okay, once you have done that, I need you to open up exercise 5.3 and basically work from the book using the practice, consolidated or master questions based on how you're feeling. Good luck.